I want you to hypothesize around how you could nerf Catalina to around the grand power level. This is the fucking problem with Catalina, man. I used to say this with Belial too, right? I used to say this with Belial too, where like, the problem with Catalina is not she's not a house of cards, right? We can talk about upcoming here, actually, right? This is the actual straight-up biggest loser of the patch. Zeta is still a very good character, by the way, right? But, like, certainly, one of the things, like, Fairy is a house of cards. Zeta is a house of... not really a house of cards, right? But Zeta is, like, straight-up the biggest loser of the patch. She's still very good, right? She's still, like, a solid, like, high mid-tier-ish character, I think, right? But she just lost her 50-50. She just had the best 50-50 in the game, and they took it away from her, right? That's huge. Like, you can take that one Jenga block out from under Zeta, and it hurts her significantly. It's really hard to think of something like that for Catalina, right? Because you could say, oh, like, you know, nerf her corner carry again. Okay, cool. She still has the best buttons in the video game, right? The overall, the best set of normals in the video game belongs to Catalina. She has one of the best 6XLs, she has the best 2M, she has the best far M, she has in competition for the best far H, she has the best far L, she has like maybe the best 6XL as well. Her 6XH is the only one thing that's like a little mediocre about her. She has one of the best JUs and JHs and JLs and JMs, right? So every single kit, every single normal in her kit is you know, top class. Her fireball is one of the best in the entire game, if not the best in the entire game. Her average damage is very incredibly high, one of the highest in the entire game. Her corner carry, her defense, her off, like, the only, like, I don't know, she doesn't have a throw bait, I guess. She doesn't have a throw bait, but she has a BC bait. So, to nerf Catalina, you'd have to just do a lot of little changes, kind of like what they did to Belial, but Belial's still better than Gran, even then, right? But like Belial, they like nerfed you Fireball, they nerfed, technically they took his Guard Crush away too in a previous patch, they nerfed his 2M, they nerfed his EX Fireball, they made the gap in his EX Fireball into the spin, right? Catalina 214M is a throw bait? Technically, yeah, it's not a good one, but it is, right? So you would have to just nerf like 6 or 7 things on Catalina a little bit, right? If you were on the balance team, what would you personally do to Catalina? I mean, okay. I think you can either just shoot the reward she gets on hits. That feels kind of weird because they just gave they gave that to her, right? Or if you're not going to revert to those changes, basically, then you need to just tune a lot of her normals down a little bit. Again, think of Belial as a very good sort of blueprint, right? To think about how you could make Catalina a little bit more reasonable. Right? You could make her pressure a little bit worse. You could make her, make her 2M, like, slightly smaller, or maybe make it 8 frames. Make her far M, like, a little smaller. You know, maybe make her far L a little smaller. Maybe, like, fewer active frames. Maybe, like, a startup decrease on her far H. Maybe her EX Fireball is minus on block at point blank, or something like that, right? You have to do a lot of little tiny tweaks like that. I think you're overrating Catalina. Maybe. I think she is essentially flawless. I think the character is basically flawless. I think she has as close to a literally flawless character as exists in Grand Blue currently. And it's not just that she has no weaknesses. I think a lot of her strengths are also very strong, right? I think Catalina is literally, like, she is, besides not having a, like, really good throw bait, and that's not even a flaw, that's, like, a lack of a lack of really strong strength, right? But I think Catalina is basically a flawless character, right? She is essentially flawless while also having, like, somewhat being top 1 in some aspects of the video game. Incredible strengths with no weakness, right? But anyway, so that's the talk on Catalina. That's a psycho monologue there. So I mean, Zeta we talked about, right? Zeta lost her fuzzy, right? That's huge. That's very, very big. She's good at what she's good at, but limited in what she can do. I don't know what the limits are. She doesn't have Uno's jumping heavy dive kick, right? That's true. She doesn't have like she doesn't have like the best throw bait in the game. I don't know what things Catalina can't do. I don't know what things Catalina can't do that other members of the cast can. She doesn't have a command grab, I guess, right? She doesn't have like a literal 50-50, but like, look at Sandy in comparison. Listen, I think Sandalphon's really good. What? Look at Sandy? She's like better than him, no? Like in every way, except like, if what you mean is like, she doesn't have like a 50-50, right? She doesn't have like a hard 50-50. She doesn't need one because she has the best buttons in the game, right? Like, Catalina is the... Okay, let me just... I wanna... Catalina is, like, the prototypical example of a character who just... When she gets you to the corner, she does this. And guess what? There is not a single character in the video game besides 2B who has her own problems, who if Catalina is standing here, you are going to have even like an okay time, right? She doesn't need, like, the thing that Catalina is limited, that she can't do, that someone like Grimnir could do, or Vasaraga, or Ladiva, or something like that, right? Is that out of range of Galleon 5H? No, it isn't. However, Catalina 5H is 9 frames and just as big. So if Galleon wants to be swinging far H's, right? If Galleon wants to be swinging far H's from this distance, Catalina has a far H that is the size of hers that is 4 frames faster, right? I present Galleon 5U. Oh, you mean the thing that is literally twice as slow as Catalina Far H? I don't think so, brother. Right? Galleon is, by the way, one of the only characters who can actually fight Catalina somewhat in this range. But Catalina dominate. Oh, by the way, oh, my bad. Far H. 8 frame Far M that also fucking reaches from here. That's my bad. 7 frame 2M that damn near reaches from here too, by the way. 7 frame 2M that reaches from there too that also fully confirms into a real hit. Right? I'm just saying. So, Catalina doesn't have a command grab. She doesn't have like a 50-50, something like that. She doesn't fucking need one. She stands here, and the entire game loses. Right? You can, I say this. Gran doesn't have a throw bait, and I hold that against him. Right? Things like this. Gran doesn't have a throw bait. There are characters like that who don't have like a good way to like that doesn't have like a command. I say Beatrix having a command grab is really good for her, right? Having a 50-50 in this game is very special. Lots of characters don't have a way to just like force you immediately to do something besides throw, which has, a lot of built-in weaknesses. Kat is like the only character in the video game who does not have one of these, where it just doesn't fucking matter. She stands out here, and the entire cast loses to her. Right? The entire cast loses to Catalina if she does this. Fuck the 50-50. Daring to hit a button is the 50-50. What are you talking about? Limited? Where are the limitations? There's no good button to press against an 8 frame Far M that hits you from... Look at this, man. This almost hits her from past the clock. What are the limitations? Where are the limitations? Right? He's very simple, right? Maybe that's why, like, some people don't really view this as that good. It's like, oh, she just stands here? Oh, so she just stands here? Right? Yeah, it's out of BC range. That's a damn good point, Mike. He's out of fucking BC range here. You can't even BC this Far M from here, I don't think. Right? Like, if Galleon BCs, did she whiff? No, okay. Thank God it extends the hurt box. Oh my God. Okay. I was like, yeah. Oh, it extends her hurt box. Thank fucking Christ. I mean, God, you think you're gonna get your side swap off on counter hit BC from over there? Right? It's like, I think Catalina is like, the strength is very 5U cancel. Still true. But at least she has to at least cancel, right? She can't just like be out of your BC range. But again, this is the like a hard knockdown BC where you get nothing. No side swap, no nothing, right? So like, I think it's like simple, so people don't really like maybe understand. Like, it's not as in your face as Grimnir knocking you down and putting you in a 50-50 and like, what am I supposed to do? And I got my ship mixed and I'm dead and right? Or like Vasaraga Soul Forge walking at you and you have no options except to die. I think that those are a lot more in your face. Catalina stands here and all of your options are gone. Catalina stands here and all of your options are gone or very bad. It's not sexy, it's not flashy, it's not crazy, it's not bombastic, right? But Catalina stands here, and you can't do anything anymore. Congratulations. Right? So, no, I don't think personally, I think, if anything, even though everyone thinks Catalina is very good, by and large, it seems, I think Catalina is kind of underrated by the community. I think Catalina is genuinely, like, calling Catalina like a top 10 character, I think is genuinely underrating her. Catalina is a top 1 in the game contender, in my opinion. The only character, honestly, who I think is even competing with her for that spot is Grimnir. Right? I don't even, like, Vasaraga's not doing that, Versuja's not doing that, I don't know who else he thinks up there, but the only character even competing with her for that top 1 spot is Grimnir, in my opinion. Your character is not immune to hot lady night pressure? Yes. Anyway. So that's a very... I might have to cut that out, make it its own video about Catalina, man.